Why, hello there, everybody. How are you guys? Super excited. Super excited. We got a third one. We got a third podcast going on tonight. We're super excited for it.
I know I am, Bear.
I know Rock Dad is. And we've also got a special guest today. His name is McTactical. He's one of our good friends. We just call him Tac. He's a good dude. I think you guys are gonna enjoy his company. Say hi.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
There he is.
I gotta say, chat, I think you're gonna like him. I've only been talking to him for about maybe 15 minutes, if that, chat, and I can already tell you I like him. How you doing, Bear?
Oh man, I'm doing good. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted, my friend. But I am here. I'm ready to do this thing, man. How are you?
Yeah, dude. Been having a good day. A real good day. I was behind in my Inktober's for anybody who's following me in that journey, and I was 3 days behind, but I had time today, and I got to work on all 3 projects, and I like the way they turned out, so I'm feeling accomplished. Had a good day.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Tac, how are you today?
I'm good, dude. I got back from vacation yesterday, went into work today, and decided I wanted to take tomorrow off. So I'm just chilling.
That's always a good time. It's always a good time. You take the day off. What's up, man?
Can you introduce Tact a little bit more to us? Tell us like how you guys first met and all that.
So Tac and I actually met for the first time playing a military sim. It's a mil sim game called Arma 3. We started originally playing that back in it was like
2 years ago,
2019, I think, somewhere around that. And
right before COVID, jumped over.
Yeah, right before COVID kind of smacked everybody in the face. We started playing with a group of guys. What was the 82nd Airborne?
Yeah,
something like that. Emulated 82nd Airborne, and just it's a good time. We ended up. I can kind of say that I helped start ST2. I don't really think that I can say that, but. Well, I mean, I did build the Discord. I don't really know. Like, I helped build ST2, which is the again the Mil-Sim unit that we run in Arma 3, which is SEAL Team 2 or whatever. And we still play Arma to this day. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's definitely for that. It's kind of a release, like having for me, it's just a group of guys that I like to play with and kind of de-stress on the weekends and just kind of put everything else out of my mind for an hour or 2 hours just to. We play Arma now, but if everybody else wanted to play something different, I'd play with the group one.
Yeah, we'll play Tarkov here and there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we'll play Tarkov here and there. We'll do. We do all kinds of stuff. It's one of those things. Anyway, but yeah, that's how Tac and I met. Been pretty good friends so far.
What are you messing with her?
Huh? Oh, my phone went off. You started
getting way distracted there for a second. What are you doing?
You would think that, like, doing this for the third time that I would know to shut my damn phone off, but here we are.
What are you doing with your phone?
Here we are.
From you.
Oh, man. Tac, go ahead and tell them where they can find you. I know you do have a stream here and there.
No, I do not have a stream here or there. I did for a hot second. But no, I don't have time currently to stream or do anything like that.
No, okay. Well, never mind. You guys can't find him anywhere. Oh well.
Yeah, I would say I would link my socials, but I don't have socials. So, I'm a ghost.
Just nothing.
That's okay.
It's perfectly fine.
When I was in the military, I didn't have any social media either, to be honest with you. I mean, I think I had Facebook at one point in time after MySpace. I mean, I was a MySpace guy. I just dated myself there. I love MySpace. I miss it. I wish that was still a thing. That was so cool. But moving on from that aspect, I didn't have any social media until I started streaming. And then I was on all social medias that like were the hot thing at that moment. Right. So I went from not being on it at all to all of a sudden on it all the freaking time. It's been like that for 3 years straight. I am not exaggerating.
Dude, I love MySpace.
Do you enjoy the social media side, or is it kind of like a hindrance to you now?
It's kind of like an up and down. It's a roller coaster. Yeah. There's so much drama all the freaking time. I try not to get involved in the drama just because it's just there's just always drama. And like if you go out, like I've said this before, I like to put out into the universe what it is I seek. So I seek out positivity. So I try to put out positivity. But like it's hard to do that when you're just constantly bombarded with like negative stuff. So it's just like, oh, sometimes I gotta take breaks. And I don't realize I need to take a break. I'm just getting like irritable and feeling like in a funk or like just mentally like depressed and drained.
Yeah.
I will take a break from social media. My wife would be like, you need a break. You need to like take a mental break from everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's right. And then I'll come back and I'm feeling funky fresh, like ready to
Yeah.
go again. It's
I
necessary.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dak, the bed sheets are in the wash right now. That's where they are. Thank you for noticing. Oh my god, guys, I'm so excited that we're back today. We did it a day early because Rock Dad has a birthday coming up. His birthday is Friday, so we decided to do it a day early so that he can celebrate his birthday.
Where? It's
So tomorrow?
today. It was today. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you said your birthday was tomorrow. I thought you said your birthday.
Oh, I'm gonna be in transit tomorrow to Vegas.
Well, happy birthday, Rock Dad.
Yeah,
or else I
happy
would have just told
birthday,
you
man.
that today. Like I would just told you earlier. That makes me feel
I
horrible.
thought I said that. I thought you said happy early birthday. I think there's in the Discord a message. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Thank you. And but like, yeah, I just was like, whoa. I'm like, no, that's today, dude.
Well,
I leave tomorrow.
Happy birthday. I hope you enjoy your trip down in wherever you're going. You said Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Don't spend too much money.
Yeah, right.
I don't gamble a whole lot, to be honest with you. I'm going down to go to a Raiders game with my dad and my sons. And well, my whole family's going to be there. It's for my birthday. It's for my birthday weekend. We're going to a Raiders game, which I'm really excited about. They're going to be playing the Eagles. And while we're there, of course, I'm going to go to like family friendlier type stuff. So like we're going to go check out the M&M store, Hershey Factory. We're gonna, there's a few other things. I want to list my itinerary. That's not really smart of me, but
Yeah.
Gonna have,
Are you
some
a
folks.
Raiders fan then? Or
I'm actually not a huge NFL fan or major sport fan at all, to be honest
I
with
gotcha.
you. I'm one of those people who enjoys playing more than he does watching. And there are some events I'll watch, like, the major ones, like Super Bowl, World Cup, what are the World Series things that I struggle there. I'm like, I don't watch a whole lot, so I had to think about the names. That was hard for me. You guys don't realize how hard that was for me.
I like watching the Super Cup.
What's the one where they go?
Do they score goals?
Sports ball.
The sports ball. Yeah, I go to the sports
Terrible.
ball.
I kid you not. I play sports, but I'm not very good at following sports, and I don't play them obviously outside of like junior high, high school.
Yeah.
All right. All right. This is hitting the rails like awesome. All right. Cool. So chat wants me to sing happy birthday to you. That's probably
No.
That's probably not gonna happen.
Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. I already got sung to once today. That's embarrassing enough as it is. I don't need two grown men singing happy birthday to me. I'm all right.
I can rap it. Would you prefer a rap?
Do you rap?
That might
No.
almost be worse.
It would be way worse, but I can do it.
That would just be worse in so many ways.
I mean, I kind of want you to embarrass yourself, but at the same time, I don't, man. I'm
No,
an
you
empathetic
really
person.
don't want me to do that. I don't want to do it.
Suddenly we go to like
I'll
zero
just start
viewers.
life.
Just go to 0 viewers all of a sudden because Tax starts rapping on the stream.
Like, I can't listen to that. That's the
Yeah.
worst thing I've ever heard.
I love it. I just sneezed twice on stream. That's amazing. Like, been streaming on Twitch for over a year, and I've never actually sneezed on stream before.
That's because you're allergic to bullshit.
Well, you're not wrong. Oh my gosh. So, all right. So we've got some fun news. We got a couple news stories before we get to our actual big segment today. So we're gonna dive into those. So. One of the big stories today was that Doom Eternal is actually going to get a horde mode finally, which should have been like one of the things that Doom should have on it, but for some reason it didn't. But it's
a horde mode where like it's just like wave after wave of just like essentially a horde of demons to kill.
yeah, basically they're basically just a horde of things to shoot, and it's kind of one of those things that you'd think that Doom would have, period. Like it wouldn't be one of those things that you're like, okay, well this Doom doesn't have this. Why not?
Yeah, it's a little late in the game. It should have had that at launch.
Yeah, it's Doom. Like why do you not have this on here? But they're finally gonna introduce it in there.
Did you ever play Doom?
I have never gotten Doom. I played all of the original Dooms, and I have Doom 3 BFG, and I modded the absolute hell out of Doom 2. It's like when you're literally playing with Call of Duty weapons through Doom 2 is just amazing. By the way, that happened.
You never played Doom on a printer? What
Nope.
are you doing, man?
I know, right? What's wrong?
You didn't use Etch-a-Sketch when you played?
Yeah,
Right.
With the original Doom, you could code it onto like just about anything and play it.
You could literally put it on anything whatsoever, and it was perfectly fine for no reason at all. Like the OG first-person shooter, though, guys. Like that was the original go-to shooter game back in the day, and it was.
Yeah. Did it have a horde mode?
No.
OG one.
No, it didn't.
I
Well,
don't remember it enough.
So.
It
I watched
had
my brother play it.
It had custom levels for the longest time. Like people would just go make their own custom levels for it. And there was one they called what do they call it? It was like Absolute Hell or something like that. And there was like nothing but cyber demons in it. It was just like a 12x12 box, and you had to like kill them all. So I guess they had a horde mode in some ways, but
okay,
whatever. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely I agree with you that it should have been there at the launch, and I think that's great news that it's coming to the game. I think a lot of games should have that style of play, because I enjoy that style of play. Like Aliens Fire Team has that style of play, so you can get you and your fire team together and just take wave after wave after wave.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And if you like a lot of firepower, a lot of lead down range, like I do, just pull that trigger, just have a lot of rounds go. It brings a smile to my face. So any game that makes me do that, I'm okay with.
Yeah, so the biggest deal about this story, though, is the fact that they finally released a gameplay trailer, because it was announced like a year ago as a replacement for the Dark Souls-inspired Invasions mode, which was scrapped completely. So people were like really looking forward to this, and they didn't release a release date back then. And now they finally did get the release date for Tuesday, October 26th. So it'll be kind of neat, I think. It'll be kind of cool. Definitely worth picking up.
Are they adding any new music with it? Because the Doom track's always the go-to.
Yeah, the soundtrack is amazing.
Oh my gosh. I have it as my intro songs for my streams, because they're non-DMCA songs.
Yeah, they're amazing.
So and they're they fall on EDM, and I like EDM. So like, dude, I love Doom soundtracks. They're always badass, man.
Oh, yeah. Even the original MIDI ones, like the 8-bit sound, those things were still cool back in the day. It was awesome.
Oh.
So, anyway, but we're super excited that that's coming out. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah, man.
It's a good share.
Yeah. We also have in news. We've also got Razer. Razer has officially released their. And this is going to sound like super weird, but with the advent of face masks these days, Razer has actually released a face mask. And in the Razer style, like you're talking RGB lights and everything, and it's super cool. I wish I would have had that extra window made. I didn't have time to make the assets this week. I apologize, Bear. I would have loved to be able to pull up images to share with everybody. This would have been a perfect moment, because you're right. It's crazy to see, chat. It's absolutely insanity. It was one of those things. It's like you wouldn't expect somebody like Razer to make something of this sort. But it just fits. It just fits well with the rise of people wearing masks due to the pandemic and all that good stuff, especially for people who are immunocompromised anyway. This will be great for them, because it's literally a wearable air purifier. It's been ISO rated, if I remember correctly, and the mask provides up to 72 hours worth of use before the filters actually need to be swapped out.
So, and those filters, are they washable?
I don't know. The article actually doesn't say. I didn't look into it that much more, but the article doesn't actually say whether or not you can actually control the colors via a Bluetooth app, and it also allows you to change the fan speeds. Like you have faster fan speeds there too. So
I can just picture
gamer thing.
I'm trying to think like the military trying to implement this type of aspect, with the LED mask, because they already wear these stupid reflective belts,
The PT belts.
Why not just make it the mask that much better? Just make it a reflective mask, you can see where their face is at.
That PT belt will save your life, sir.
Yeah, don't talk smack on the PT belt. It protects against sea bears and sea rhinoceroses.
Yeah, lets you know where they. Luckily, I didn't have to wear them outside the wire, but inside around base. Obviously, there's vehicles driving around on base, even deployed, ladies and gentlemen. We still had to wear a reflective belt.
Yeah, that is 100% true. We had to wear them when we were in.
It's built into the tracksuit.
I will never
Reflective
understand.
stuff was built into the tracksuit, but you still had to wear a belt.
I will never ever understand ever.
My favorite is like the sweatpants, they call them.
Yeah.
They aren't actually warming. They're just windbreaker pants.
Yeah,
with like
exactly.
no lining, so they do nothing for you in the cold.
Yes.
Nothing whatsoever.
Anyway, so people are very happy about this coming out because a lot of people like these like to accessorize or whatever. I think it's kind of neat. One of the downfalls to it apparently is that it really doesn't show up that well in the daylight. Like the colors are kind of dim during the daylight, but honestly, like, why are you wearing an RGB thing during the day? Just saying.
Or they could do you could make some really cool designs. Like, I have at one point in time when I had a merch line going, I had face mask. And it was like half my Rock Dad skull, and it was a cool looking face mask. I liked it a lot. Dude, if I would have thought about LEDs at the time, I bet you those things would have probably sold better than what I originally thought they would. Like, oh my gosh, everybody's wearing masks. Everybody's going to want one of these masks.
Yeah, especially because there's no colorful options. It's like you either have black or you have like your sports team. Like, that's it. There's nothing else.
No.
So
I don't know, I've seen some pretty funny ones though, with like funny slogans on them.
I know, yeah. You have like I saw one that was it was like a ninja. It says you should ask me about my ninja mask, and it was just great.
I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but that's the skull, and it was just like the bottom nose down, so just whatever jaw line there was.
That's
so
actually kind of cool.
So it looked like
it's pretty dope.
So you had the beard and the skull and all that kind of. I thought it looked dope.
That looks pretty cool, dude.
I bought 4 of them. Those are the only 4 that I sold.
Hey, you know what? Self-marketing, man.
The coolest one I had, Sarah got me. It's just a zipper across my mouth.
A zipper what? That's kind of funny.
Yeah, so it's like the only way she could get me to shut up.
Yeah, you never took that advice.
No, I don't ever shut up.
Oh my god. Anyway, so the Zephyr is actually
the zipper underneath it. There's a ball gag. You're like, whoa, hold on.
I just took a turn. That's my kind of
just to get a response out of Bear.
Oh Jesus. There's a ball gag underneath your mask. We're just going in great directions here.
Where else are you going to keep your ball gags?
I mean, hanging up in the closet? I don't know.
Sorry, let's move on. We could have just moved on. We don't need to go further.
The Zephyr is actually available now at Razer. That's what they call it. Is the Zephyr, and it's actually available for $99.99. I should have just said $100. It's available for $100 on Razer's website. So.
And ball gags are available online somewhere.
Everywhere.
Hide. You can hide it perfectly unless the LEDs are on. Then it might show a silhouette. I don't know.
What about an LED ball gag?
I need more alcohol for this, ladies and gentlemen. I will need more alcohol.
They're all glowing underneath the black light and everything. Yeah. Nah, dude, let's move on from this. This is not a good conversation. Let's move on from this. This is not good.
Underneath what? Okay. Things
are red in here for you guys to compare me to, right? All right, good. I think it's white enough in here. Oh my gosh.
All right, cool.
Glad I don't have a camera right now.
Yeah, that'd be somewhat dyslexic. Oh, God damn it! I just read
dyslexic.
I don't think that's what dyslexic means.
I read a chat the second I said that. It was literally the word dyslexic, and it just popped up in my head. I don't know. This is going off the rails in the best way. Oh my god.
Let's get back on point. Let's get back on point. We're all right.
All right. So we're gonna kind of talk about the same thing we were talking about last week, like how we found Twitch and how Twitch has impacted our family life and all of that good stuff, because we didn't have a whole lot of time last week because all of our stuff went entirely too long. It was like an hour and a half last week. So we wanted to come back to it and actually kind of explore it a little bit more, because what Rockdad said last week was it was just barely the tip of the iceberg. Like, we just barely crested like what it actually is like to be a content creator, also have a family, also have all of this other crazy stuff going on, especially how Rockdad has, you know, he has his art, he has his family, he has his, you know, all of this stuff. So it's just one of those things, like, you want to just kind of, you know, delve a little bit more into that.
Okay, so what's one of the, what did we leave off on? Do you have like a question that we could start off with just to get the conversation going?
So where exactly do you have to draw the line? Like, when does it become too much? When does it end up being like you're spending too much time doing the content creation versus spending time with a family? Where is that line at?
That is a very good question, and you know, I'm sure it's different for every single person. You know, everybody has their own way of parenting. They have their own way of just taking care of themselves or taking care of others. You know, if that responsibility even falls on another person to take care of another person. And so it's going to be different for every single person. So for Rock Bomb and I both being content creators, and for over the past 3 years, it started off, you know, the first year was just me. The second year is both of us, you know, the third year is both of us as well. But the second year, her and I shared a space. And, you know, here at the end of my third year, I now have my own space again. But with the family and trying to find a balance, I'm looking at my sons right now when I look off screen, everybody, because you could probably hear them. I've asked them to keep it down. Not keeping it down.
It's all good, man. Don't worry about it.
Let me know if they get loud. I'll mute the mic and I'll just be like,
just pull out the straight up dad voice on him. Just,
it's just the old dad voice.
Oh, you see Rich just take off his helmet, just chuck it across the room. Quit!
Like, take this can's empty, throw an empty can at. They'd be like, he just threw a can at his kid. No, I'm not going to do that, everybody. Moving on.
Better dad than I am.
It's not an easy balance, man, because there's like the line's different for everybody, and I'm still trying to figure out the balance, dude. It is like every day is a new struggle in one way or another. Because like, if I try to like plan out my day, having kids fucks up your plans, regardless of what you think you're gonna do that day. They've got a life. They've got their life going on, and you know, with your intertwined with yours, you have to be flexible and expect the unexpected, because every day is going to be something new, unexpected. The only thing that's consistent is inconsistency, even though you're trying to be consistent. And that's so vague, but if you get it, you get it. I have to set boundaries before like they go off to school. I'm like, okay, when you get up in the morning, no television, no electronics. You know, have your breakfast. If there's time after you've gotten dressed and all your homework is put together and everything's you're packed and ready to go, if there's free time, yeah, okay, turn the TV on. Most of the time there's not, so they don't really have electronics in the morning. And then, you know, like, come back from school, you know, homework has to get done first. Depending if they got it done like in class or if they've only got like reading left, you could be reading towards the end of the evening. But then, you know, at dinner time, you know, that little burst of electronic time they get, and then it's dinner time, and I expect them. Family time to me is meal time as well. Like, I'm old school. I love sitting at the table with. I think this came out of my headset when I took it off. I love sitting at the table with my family, no distractions, and being able to ask them, "Hey, how was your day?" and talk about it. And if they had a shitty part of it, excuse me, I apologize, everybody. If they had a bad part of the day, I can help talk them through it. And a lot of time, yeah, they all had some crappy part during their day that they do need to talk about. And so I have noticed that it is so much harder to be a content creator, I would imagine, with different stresses for like a non-parent content creator, because I've accepted the fact to where Rock Mom is the spotlight for between the two of us. Like, she's like, hey, I need this time at this window. I need to do this, or I have this going on, or I have to be doing this off stream, which you would think would be like, oh, she's done streaming, she's gonna go out her normal day and be with her family. That's not the case. There's so much more to do when you're not streaming. There's like promoting the next stream, or taking clips and trying to put something together to post on social media, or you're editing something for YouTube, or like or are you trying to network with other people? So there's stuff to do off stream that's technically still working, and you can't really focus on that and be, yeah, let me cook you dinner, let me help you with homework, let me do laundry and stuff like that. It's somebody's got to kind of take the back burner. And so I've been the home dad, or what do they call it, a house husband, for like a whole younger son's life. How old are you, Nick? 8 years now.
That's awesome. And there's nothing wrong with that either, man. See, that's one of the things that I struggle with the most is, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, we suck. We absolutely suck at putting down our phones. We suck at it. One of the biggest things that
it's not easy.
No, it's not, because I'm so used, like I do the streaming, with my work, I'm constantly on my phone. With that, the farm, I have to constantly keep track of stuff on Facebook, trying to find used equipment and stuff like that. I'm constantly on Facebook, and it's one of those bad things. It's like I'll be sitting at the dinner table, and my wife will literally get on my ass. She's like, "Dude, get off the phone. Get off the phone. Seriously, get off the phone." And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, and I'll finally set it down.
remember.
But, sometimes my wife, she'll do the same thing. I'm like, dude, get off the phone. We are sitting here with our kids. Stop it. But we both are terrible about it, and we feel horrible about it as well. And it's like, okay, we're also trying to balance that with the kids going to school, with the, like all that stuff. And it's like, I work 2 jobs. I work my main 9 to 5 job, and then I also run a farm on top of all of this. And like, there's just not a lot of time. And I have to.
Time you do have, you're spending towards your kids.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. I suck at it, but I'm trying to do it anyway. What's up?
Do y'all think the like want for everybody, like just being on your phone all the time, is just because of the big culture shift with how readily available they've become and how like ease of life they've made a lot of things that used to be super difficult, right?
100%.
I know when I was in college, right, like it was cheaper for me to Uber Eats food than to actually go drive and get it, because of the vehicle I was driving. I didn't get very good gas money. But, like everybody, I've been around, everybody I'm with now, my girlfriend, like, they kind of consumed by their phone and social media and all that sort of stuff. And I see it. And, I've kind of like you were talking about earlier, being current military and doing other things, and just, being busy in life, I just don't see any need to be on social medias. And sometimes I feel like I miss the drama, like I'm not seeing any of the drama, and it almost feels healthier to me. But, for not being a streamer and not being like trying to get myself out there, I can also see the other side where, nobody's going to know who I am.
I don't know if I can agree with you harder, because yes, you're missing all of the drama. You're missing all of the BS that comes with it. That's one of the main reasons why I didn't have a Twitter up until I started the podcast. I kind of need the Twitter for the podcast in order to make it go out, but I didn't want to join it because there's always some BS going on Twitter. Yeah. Always.
Well, I guess for both of you, go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off, but I was going to say, let's not paint a completely nasty light on social media, because there's a lot of pros to it as well, which we don't have to dive into. But I'm just saying, like, I don't want people thinking that I'm completely one-sided with this, because I see a lot of pros with it as well. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
That is fair. Yeah, that is fair.
I was going to say there's definitely benefits to it, though. With the ease of getting news and the ease of communicating with other people. As comparative to how it's been. Like for even just this, getting a message out to people is so much easier. And so there's definitely good to it. And I don't think things can inherently be good or bad. They are what they are.
But to get back onto what you were leaning towards, it's really bad for the constant bombardment of just a lot of negative things that's going on, because like you said, you're making a connection now with the world essentially. So as you're following people, as you're following hashtags or whatever subjects that you enjoy, you're also getting hit with like current events in your area. You're getting hit in like whatever somebody, like let's say you follow a meme person on Instagram and they're going to keep up with, current events in the news, and they make memes of it. You're going to see it. Yeah. You're always going to see it. You can't not see it. Whereas if you don't have anything connected to social media, unless you're turning on the television, you're not really catching much.
Yeah. Definitely.
Most people watching TV these days is Netflix.
Yeah,
You know?
it's
Hulu.
all went over straight to a streaming market. Like you're not watching the
Yeah.
news anymore. Like I don't know
Yeah.
anybody besides my 63-year-old mother who watches the news anymore.
Mhm.
You know,
Or
and
if they've got it playing at the gym.
exactly like you're
Yeah.
just happen to be watching CNN while it's at the gym. You know, whatever. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
like I literally every so often I will literally just sit and watch the evening news just because I can catch up with stuff. But it's like, okay, well I found out about all of this stuff like 4 hours ago on the internet. Like why is this still a thing? You know?
Mhm.
It's like the newspaper. Like I don't know anybody who reads the newspaper anymore.
Exactly.
Why is this still a thing? I like how you made that point. Like, that's how fast the internet is. Like on social media, something when the news brings up is like, yeah, that's already been done. That was
Yeah.
hours ago. Keep up, you know?
Well,
It's crazy.
It's funny that you bring up the newspaper though, because I still, to this day, you know, as my wife, I will literally still go and get our local newspaper and I will read it every time. The reason I do that, I feel like local news never gets told. It's always things on a bigger town or a state level or a national level that gets told, but you never see anything on a local level. You'll always see just you just see like the big stories, like if your town has like a murder or something like that, you'll see that on national news or whatever. You'll never see the cool things like the letters to the editors, the sports, the football team down the road that's literally doing well this year, stuff, all the positive stuff that can come out of local towns and stuff like that.
You
You'll-
got to know what captures people's attention. You know, most people they don't want the sunshine and rainbows. People, they want drama.
That's sad.
As much as we say we don't want to see drama, people want to see drama, and that's what sells. I mean, there's a lot of other things that sells, which we don't need to say at this moment, but drama sells.
This is
And
true.
that's what they want. You know, everybody who's like, unless you're like a nonprofit or like one of those like low level like reporters that are like they don't take any types of like political agendas, because most stuff has some type of left, right. It's all part of the same bird type mentality agenda on public television. But if you find the things that aren't in the public, such as like on social media from like these private little like news networks and stuff like that, they're the ones that are usually doing the stories that you're looking for. But like I said, their stuff isn't being seen because it's not what people are actually wanting to see. So it's a vicious cycle, right?
It's super sad, isn't it? Isn't
Yeah.
it super sad? Because like we as a society, we've went from focusing on, okay, we have this one little section of BS a day. Like we have the 6 o'clock news. That's our fill of drama, crap, murder, whatever for the day. We went from that to a 24-hour news cycle that literally runs constantly. And this is kind of where, I lean into like mental health and stuff like that. I kind of feel like a lot of people are feeling like the world's getting to be a darker place because this is all they see all day long. It's like, it's
and
not
a different generation too because of it.
exactly. And it's not that it's a darker place. It's just you're seeing it constantly. That's the only reason why it feels like it's a darker place. And I completely get that.
Well, there
Go
was
ahead.
like a psychological study done, and I don't want to quote anything because I don't know off the top of my head, but like a human person is going to remember more details about something that makes them feel bad than something that makes them good. That's just the way our brains work because of the response to negative things, so that we avoid them. We're more likely to seek avoidance of bad things than to seek good things when they're going one-on-one.
Didn't know
Yeah.
that.
And the news is definitely tapped into that.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Like, especially with the uptick of sensationalization and stuff like that. But that's a conversation for a whole nother time.
So we were also kind of doing more of like the we were talking about like electronics and with the families and like content creation, as content creators and parents at the same time, some of the struggles that we go through, and dealing with devices. And so that exposure, even for like our young and impressionable minds, you get them a phone. I've got almost 16-year-old now, and he's got a phone and he's in high school, and he has all the same access I do now to like in his phone essentially. So I know like he needs to be able to process this stuff because he's not going to always be able to process it. And he sees something on his phone. I don't know if he's going to talk about it at school with his buddies, because most of the time he come home from school, his buddies are on the internet. So we talk about like, how much time is too much time. Well, all of his friends are on the internet, you know,
Right.
like when I say go out and play, it's go and play on the computer when you go to play with your friends. You know, when I was a kid, I was outside playing till, you know, the lights came on, like the street lights, or I had to be within shouting distance if it was dark, and
Yeah.
you know, all this kind of crazy stuff. But like
It's like,
that's outside and play. It's not the same anymore.
yeah, whatever. I remember when I was a kid, I was my son's age. When I was my son's age, we literally took a 4-hour bike ride. Like, we were literally 20 miles away from our house on a bike ride with my older brother, and we just literally did that and came back. It wasn't an issue.
No
back
big
then.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would just go. Like, you were crazy in the 90s. Like,
Oh yeah, dude.
like, if you were like, on a bike, rollerblade, skateboard, like a mile was no big deal. 2 miles, no big deal.
Now
Like,
it's more than 50 feet. It's like,
Well,
you
and
need- go ahead.
when did that change? Because I mean, I'm younger than you guys by what, 10, 15 years or so.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember basically up until like even through high school, like I was the same way. I'd go out and like my mom and my dad were like, hey, just be home by either when the streetlights come on or let us know where you're at if you're going to be out later.
It's a
And
good
that's
question.
kind of how it always was for me.
yeah.
When
You know,
did it
so
change? When was
did
that? Have that sudden shift, and obviously we're gonna say, well, pre-COVID, but like,
Well,
I
no, it was
noticing this.
it was
I
much.
think it was YouTube. How old is YouTube?
2005.
Yeah, it was. Well, it came out in 2005, but when did it hit like a super jump? Probably like what, 2012?
2008?
2012. Yeah, I
maybe?
would say
Yeah, somewhere
2012.
in that range.
Okay, all right. Well, I know that I knew of YouTube in 2005, and I was playing around with it in the shop in the military early on, and then I remember it really becoming a thing when I was a parent, and I noticed that my son was watching more YouTube, like watching somebody play Minecraft, rather than himself playing the Minecraft that was in the other room. I'm like, hey man, your Minecraft's in the other room. Why aren't you playing
Why
your
don't
Minecraft?
you go play your own?
And he's watching, and we're at a baseball game, and he's got his like the old school, like small little iPhone, like iPod thing. I don't remember what it is. I don't use Apple. He loves Apple. I've gotten him hooked on Apple his whole life. I regret that because I hate Apple so bad. Moving on. So he was watching like rather in between his baseball games, like at tournaments on the weekends or something like that. He would have his device and he'd be watching YouTube in between his games, and he would have all of his baseball buddies circled around, all watching the same little device. Dude, that should have been an indicator for me, like, hello, this is a growing market, you should start looking into this right now, not
Right.
like 8 years later. That's hindsight 2020 though.
Oh yeah, always. But
Right.
I don't know when it changed. I don't know when it became. I don't know. It's like these days. I remember there's a story that actually happened to me the other day. My mom is old school. My mom watches our kids during the day while my wife and I both work. And there was a young lady that was my best friend's wife who happened to be staying on our property at the point. And my mom lets my son go outside and play. He's 5. It's a yard. She goes and checks on him. It's not a big deal. Whatever. And she must have been raised different or something, because she flipped her lid that my son was outside playing without being in direct eye shot of my mom or something. And I was just, I don't know when this changed. I don't know when that became a problem.
So you two as parents, and if this is too political or anything, tell me. Does knowing some of the violence that has happened toward kids, does that impact your views of letting your kids go out and play further away from your house or anything? Has that shifted? Because I know we've seen that more in the
Yes.
news.
Yeah,
But,
it depends on the
You-
location for me.
okay.
Yes.
Because
so that opens up a door for a great conversation. Go ahead, you guys say your piece. Go
so
ahead, Bear.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am totally cutting you off. It depends on the location. So say here at the house that I'm in right now, okay? If I let my son outside to go play or whatever, they will be playing in the backyard that's completely fenced and there's a lock on the gate because it's in town. It's easily accessible. At the farm, however, because it's 40 acres out in the middle of buttfuck Egypt, excuse me, out in the middle of nowhere,
BFE works as well.
BFE, excuse me. Because it's a piece of property out in the middle of nowhere, he can go out and play or whatever. Because it's not like somebody's gonna drive out in the big candy van in the middle of nowhere and come kidnap a kid. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that's just a matter of opinion at this point. Like I don't know, man. Parenting's hard.
I think geographical location has a lot to do with it. I mean,
Yeah.
you tell your kid to go play out in the block, but if you're living in, I don't know, man, this is good. Like in New York, like my dad grew up in like Brooklyn, New York as a kid, right?
Okay.
He was in a gang. He was like your cliche, like you'd see a movie about kids in like the 60s and 70s, you know, they were all like little hoodlums. That was my dad, you know, he was a hoodlum, you know. So I had that mental image of any kid growing up in New York, basically, you know, they're, and that's so stereotypical and like you know, labeling, but it's not. But like, would you let your kid go play out in the streets? Probably not, right? In that area. Now you take like suburbia, like let's take like a bubble state that's like, I'm gonna say bubble because I live in it. And you put them in like a suburbia like cul-de-sac, and like all the kids and parents in the neighborhood see each other like 3 times a week because they got like block parties or like some type of evening gathering with like their group or their like weekend group meetings or something like that. Like there's always a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
You can let your kids roam here.
Right.
Like it's the craziest thing. I lived in Oregon prior to here, and like we lived like, I don't know, like 10 miles away from Portland. I like, there's certain areas where you would not let your kids play because they're like, no, there's bums in the area. No, you might find some needles in the grass. So it's best not to go play in that baseball diamond, you know, or something like that, because there's, you know, prophylactics, needles, or there might be some bums sleeping in it. Like, I'm not going to be comfortable with my kids in that area. I'm comfortable with my kids playing in this area. If I was to go visit my uncle living in New York and my kids being the age they are now, and he said, hey, don't let your kids go play outside, I'd be like, no shit. So those are my 3 examples that I have. So I think it really does have to do with geographical location. So my kids, when I tell them to go outside and play, like, I know there's kids outside playing every once in a while.
Right.
It's not nearly as much as it was back in my day, but every once in a while I see kids out there on scooters. I see kids out there bouncing basketballs and, you know, just goofing off. I'm like, dude, go play with the kids. Aren't you in class with him? Go play with so-and-so. I don't really want to. I'm playing this game right now. I'm like,
Get your ass outside.
Get outside. You're done. You need to take a break. Look at your eyes. They're bloodshot. I bought both my sons, like, you know, blue light filter glasses so that when they're doing their long stints in front of the computer, they can at least try to protect themselves. Only one of them wears it.
Right.
Yeah.
My youngest, like, never listens. I'm like, okay, so dinner time, family time.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You're about to add to that after that.
Yeah, I wonder if the shift in from like playing outside and doing all this stuff on the computer, right, is because there's not as much there's not as much to do outside with as many people all the time. Like we would go to pick up baseball games, pick up soccer games and stuff like that because we had a park near.
Yeah.
You know, is it because those are now less accessible for the kids, and then it's just not what they're, you know, and now it's like, why would I go there and do that when I could sit on my phone?
That's actually a really good point.
Level of enjoyment from watching a game or something.
Yeah, what kind of outside amenities are children offered in the area? Like, is there any incentives to even go out and do anything type deal? I get that.
That's a really good point. And the reason I say that is because I've lived in big cities, I've lived out in the middle of nowhere, I've lived in small cities, like all over the place, and I can tell you, like, where I live now, there are a ton of parks. There are parks everywhere. We've got walking trails. We've got toys for the kids to play on. We've got several parks that have basketball courts. We have baseball fields, stuff like that around here. But I've noticed in the bigger cities, there aren't these places. Like, you don't see, like, you'll see suburbia till the freaking world ends, but you won't see like these little parks and stuff like that for kids to go outside and play in. That was especially true in Colorado when I lived in Denver. There was nothing there for kids. There are plenty of houses and plenty of like walking trails and biking trails, but you don't see anything for kids. And it's very odd. It's always one of those things where like, you always know where a better place to raise your kids are. It's like I love raising my kids where I live because I have plenty of stuff for them.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. That was the end of it.
No, I think I've been to some big cities where you're right. All those things that you said that would normally be outside weren't outside because there wasn't like actual space for them to commit to like a park when they know they can commit like a 20 plus story building with X amount of rooms to get, you know, X amount of dollars out of that same little square space, you know?
Right.
But I've seen people like in these cities where these buildings are at, there are areas that are now indoor play areas, or they've been designated for something to do inside that area. Like there's like a kids science like museum, like, which is, I believe, was free entry. And or maybe I bought like a city pass and that's how we were able to do it. But dude, they had so, like, I was up in Seattle visiting and we're like, what are we gonna do up in Seattle? You know, like, well, you know, we were thinking coastline stuff because, hey son, I'm on live. Please tell your brother to keep it down for me.
Parenting.
Parenting.
Get him, Dad.
Let's see here. So there was like this children's science museum where the kids could go in, and it was like this entire lower section just completely dedicated to all these cool hands-on activities that kids can like learn about stuff. And then like in another part of the area there was like an aquarium, like all this like type of things that, like you were saying, like parks and stuff. I also came across an area was just a play area. Like it was
Right.
like the indoor flooring was a rubber flooring, so the kids can like play on the structures, and if they fail, it was like the shredded rubber was underneath it, and it was all indoors. So like I think for those young growing up in that environment, like in a city environment, I think you have to kind of go out and find them, whereas it's easier accessible and more like visible to everybody who are used to seeing it, like what yours is explained, like mostly
small
outside and
towns,
stuff like that. Yeah. But I've seen the other side of that.
So what is the biggest thing is, like, how much game time do you recommend for your kids? Because my kids don't really get a lot of game time. They when my wife is watching, this is gonna sound super bad when I say it, but when my wife is watching it, she likes to snuggle up with them and read and sit with them on the couch because they're really young. Like there's not a whole lot else you can do with them besides going outside and playing. And if it's a rainy day or something like that, they'll be on the couch watching movies and stuff like that. But it was, we actually try to get them outside and be active because my parents did not, and this is what happened to me, and I don't want that to happen to my children. So we tried.
Proactive is definitely easier than reactive.
Yes, it is. Anyway, so we try to keep them outside, and we try to keep them as active as we possibly can. Like my son, he just got through doing football for the first time. He played t-ball.
How was
that? He tried.
Well, how was it for you? Was it frustrating, or did you enjoy it?
See, the thing is I can't get frustrated with it, because if I get frustrated with it, he'll end up hating it.
What about him? Did he get frustrated?
He got frustrated quite a bit because trying to learn stuff, and he's going up against kids because he's a late birthday, so he was born in June, so
Gotcha.
He's always gonna be the youngest in his class.
Okay.
And the unfortunate reality when it comes to that is he's also going to be the smallest up until, I think it's something like second grade. He's always going to be the smallest kid before all those growth spurts stop. So he's having to go up against much more mature kids that can actually catch, the ones that can run. He got a little frustrated here and there, not gonna lie.
Understandable. Understandable.
But it's one of those
normal.
things. Yeah, it's one of those things. He's just got to learn to get by it.
What about do you have like where you can do some one-on-one with them? That's a great opportunity. Like when I got the opportunity to coach baseball for like my older son, like for a couple times, and it was a great experience. And I get that frustration, because like I would watch him get frustrated because he was trying to do it and he was unable to do it, or struggling and trying to do it.
And then you get mad because you're like, I can't help him do it.
Right, but I would try not to get mad, because that's the worst thing you could do is that negative enforcement. Nobody likes negative reinforcement. I mean, like some people can like brush it off, but not everybody's built with that thick of skin. Some people like really carry that or internalize it.
Exactly.
And so it's just best never to have negative reinforcement, especially for a young person. So, and that's not always as easily done as it is said, especially when you're the parent. Especially when you're the parent.
How competitive were you as a coach, or I guess for both of you, how competitive are you for your kids, and how competitive do you push them to be?
Rich, you start.
My wife is so much more competitive than I am, but I'm there with her with the whole like, it's fun to have to win, because if you always lose, it wears on your psyche, right?
Oh,
but
for sure.
If you're never getting played, or you're getting like always sidelined or benched, it's gonna weigh on your psyche. And that comes down to the coach and the parent as well, because if the parent is seeing the kid is unhappy, and the kid is struggling or the kid, isn't being played, then, if the kid has to voice it to the parent, or the parent has to say something to ask the question, or then bring it up, the proper chains. But it's all about communication. And, but getting back to the point I was trying to say was, what were we trying to say? What were we getting at?
Where did this conversation begin?
Well, I
Oh,
was
the
just
competitiveness. It was the competitiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm less competitive. I'm more about them wanting to have a good experience, because the way I look at it is, if you're having a positive, good experience, even if you lose, which is shitty, if you enjoy it, you're more likely to go back to it. You're more okay. That was fun. Like, I enjoyed that. I made friends. I made a couple good plays. Yeah, we didn't win, but it was close game or something like that along those lines. But making connections with other children. Making memories, creating that team bond. There's a lot of social skills with sports.
yeah.
So even though I may not be that competitive and I'm more about the experiences, I definitely want to see my kids win. And when they don't win, I'm salty.
Oh, it's super heartbreaking, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like, my kid during the football, it was so funny because there's this one team. There's that one overachiever coach. It's the one that's like, we're playing to win. He's not the okay, well, we're gonna have fun, but we're playing to win kind. And there's this one coach. He's out there coaching like these first and second graders with his iPad, running plays and stuff, versus these other coaches that are literally herding cats to play. And
I love it.
like,
I love it.
he was that guy out there, and it was so frustrating because his team was tackling and we're playing flag football. It didn't bother me that much. It's one of those things. It's like, okay, it's bound to happen. You're playing football, whatever.
Yeah.
But apparently it bothered another parent so much that they literally called and chewed the coach out for 25 minutes about it.
Oh man.
And that's the kind of
thing about being a coach.
That's the sucky thing about parents, though, because if they can ruin an entire experience for kids by doing stuff like that, you can ruin it.
Too high expectations too.
Well, they literally made it to where that the next time they played this team, which was the green team or whatever, the next time they played the green team, they had to stop and they had to ask all the kids, "Hey, are you sure you want to play this team? Just play them. Who cares?"
Yeah, I mean, there's that almost sounds like, I don't know, the new generation with the way like children are being raised. I mean, I'm all about them having a voice, right? They need to be able to learn to express that, hey, I have an opinion. I'm allowed to express my opinion. I may not get my way, but at least I'm practicing and I'm learning the communication skills, right?
I feel like I was heard, and I understand that I'm a person and I'm able to.
But then there's pampering. It's like, no, you're catering a little too much. I'm like, there's some tough love sometimes. They're like, look, we need to train hard. We know these guys are better than us, but that doesn't mean that we still can't play them and us learn, because you got to play better people to be better. You need that humble pie to like, damn it, I need to work on that more type deal. You need to lose sometimes, just like you need to fail in life sometimes.
So
I go ahead.
No, this is a segue to a different topic, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I actually coached Little League for my little brother when he was like 8. And I played high school baseball and volunteered to coach for him. I wanted to win. All right, like, I was the competitive coach that you were talking about, like planning up plays and everything and all that. But I was coaching 8-year-olds.
Right.
Exactly.
And,
exactly. Know your audience, right?
It only goes so far.
So, and I had some really good mentors in my life, and they had always win gracefully and lose humbly. So, and it's not about if you win or lose, how you play the game, and that's such a cliche kind of thing, right?
Oh no, but it's true.
So true though.
Yeah, but
Carries over to life.
Think about it. How do you win in life? Because life is just a bunch of games that it never ends.
Right.
And if you're just a jackass and like always showboating in life, you're gonna it's gonna carry you so far, and then you're gonna look back and nobody's around you.
Exactly.
And if you are always blaming everything on everybody else, kind of the same thing. So I took it. Like, yeah, we're gonna win, like that. You want to play to win, but you want to win in a way that you are respectful to everybody else, and you feel better about yourself and draws other people towards you.
Have good sportsmanship about the win or the loss. Right.
I like that.
Exactly.
It's a good mentality.
So the question I was trying to segue into was, this is something that you can kind of speak to, Tack, because you kind of try to do it, but Rockdad especially can speak to this. what is it like to have to compete with your spouse for work? Because I'm sorry, but Rock Mom is like super popular on Twitch right now. And Tack, you had to also kind of compete with Sarah too. And Sarah is super,
I'll let you go first, Rock Dad, if you'd like.
You're gonna let me go first? She's sitting right next to me, so it's so much harder. No, just kidding.
It's an honest question because I'm super. I'm gonna say this and it's gonna sound.
Repeat the question for me one more time.
It's gonna sound super sexist whenever I say this, but it seems like women do better on Twitch than men. It feels that way.
Well, let me stop you there because that is a mentality to have, and I can see why that would be a mentality to have because some have tools more than others have tools, and there's some people out there that enjoy looking at these tools, but that, like I said earlier, there's things that sell on the market, and drama is one, and this is the other subject, so let's not focus on that. But here's where I think that that's incorrect, because that list from Twitch that was leaked, which listed like, what was it, like
the
30
top 10%. Yeah,
like the top 10%. Rockmon was in that list on the top 10%, and then in the top, like, what was it, like 15 or something like that, like top 10. Like if you look at the men at the top of the list, there's not a female at the very top of the list. It's men.
Okay.
Women don't get into there till like the top 50 or 15. She has the numbers. She was telling me about this because we had this conversation, my wife and I did, and
great minds.
Obviously she was jazzed about the fact that it's like, oh my gosh, I'm on this list. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sucks, because that means you're gonna get hacked by all these other people. You know what I mean? And I was like, sure as shit. Like somebody tried hacking into her was it Google or a PayPal account, something like that, just recently. And then like like her Instagram, I think, got hacked before the list, but that's a moot point. Anyway, the point I'm getting at is I don't think you have to be a female to be successful on Twitch. Now, there's that mentality that you're more likely to get noticed on Twitch, but let's think about the girls that have that audience. You go into that chat stream. What are you seeing in that chat, man? Like it's
vomit is what it is. It's gross.
Exactly. There's an experience, and every single Twitch streamer is different. That's what makes Twitch great.
Right.
You take all these different people from all these walks of life, from all the different parts in the world in one location, and you share a unique experience. But as the streamer, you control that experience by what content you put out.
I think I misspoke when I said what I said. It seems like, I think what I meant to say was, it seems like females grow quicker on this app than males do on here, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it's the factor of you and Rock Mom started doing the things roughly about the same time, right?
I no. So this is going to make it more seem like, to your point, because she started a year after me.
Oh wow.
So she just hit her second year, and I mean, if you're an analytical person and you follow numbers, you're gonna her numbers completely just like, I'm not even in her shadow.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Similar content?
Similar content? Oh no, she's done things differently than me, and I don't know if it's like my ADHD. I don't know if I have ADHD or if I have ADD, but like I feel like I can't just play just one game. I had to really enjoy the game just to play that just one game. Yeah. And I didn't want to stream that. I wanted to stream a lot. I wanted to play different content. I liked interacting with my chat. If you're really like focusing on like getting like the dub every time and focusing on getting like good stats with like whatever like battle royale game or whatever, I was more concerned about, I can hit pause and I can interact with this person that's now in my stream, and I would have like the question of the stream. So I did things differently. Rock Mom, she played Escape from Tarkov, and which is a great community. It's a great game, but it's one of those games that like absorbs your time to where like all you do is play Tarkov. You don't play the other games.
I'm
but
aware
Tarkov.
of how Tarkov works.
Right? Well, I've dabbled in Tarkov, so I've tasted it. So she did the Tarkov thing, and I started out as family friendly too, because I wasn't quite sure. Like, I was watching my son watch YouTube videos, and so I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking everybody who's watching Twitch right now is a younger generation, or somebody that, like another YouTuber is what I was looking at it basically. I'm like, okay, cool. So I left it to family friendly. I didn't have swearing in my channel. I didn't drink in my channel. like, which was really tough too, because like I naturally have a vernacular where I bring up vulgar words. So I was constantly having to like turn on the whole like I don't know, maybe it was my military training and being able to flip a switch and become professional type deal,
Right.
but like stop swearing. And then I noticed that the people who I was friends with or became friendly with, other streamers who weren't family friendly, didn't really want to play games with me on stream while I was streaming because they knew I was family friendly. And that was a barrier I had to get past. And then with me having a target audience of younger generation, I wasn't that type of POS streamer saying, yeah, go get your mom and dad's credit card, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you donate too, I wasn't like, hey, make sure you drop some biddies on me. I've gone into streams where I've seen them complaining about people watching and not subbing, about the fact that you've been in this channel for this long and you haven't even dropped a donation. It's mind-blowing that people talk to people this way. I didn't have that mentality, and I thought it was sickening when I saw other people telling people to do that.
Still don't.
So,
like that seems like you're grifting at that. You have to pay me money to watch my not what I'm about.
So I'm thinking family friendly. I'm not going to push, hey, Amy type stuff. I don't like that mentality. But I did family friendly games without any other people for the most part. So growth was hard. I enjoyed the games I played. I made great connections with the people I made connections. A lot of them were like, they were my community. They're the people who are in, some of them are here right now. It's from me doing what I did, I grew. But starting a new game constantly rather than staying just to the one game and constantly just growing. Because, if I made, let's say, 5 follows playing, let's say, like Left 4 Dead, and then the next day I throw on, I don't know, Mario Odyssey. Those Left 4 Dead people, and they're like, I don't want to watch Mario Odyssey. Why is he playing this? He was just playing this yesterday type deal. Yeah. They may not watch it anymore. And then instead, I hopefully gained a couple more follows with Mario Odyssey. This is just a bad example, but you see the trend there. So it's not consistent. I wasn't consistent. I think the consistency of one game doing something where she didn't start off, she saw my mistakes and capitalized on it. Right. And then I used my community to help her at the start. And then, once she kind of found her niche, she just blossomed. She took off, and she's doing amazing, and she still is. And
she's doing awesome.
I was telling Bear at the beginning of this stream, just like I was sitting here watching her, and she's playing in Twitch Rivals, which is a huge accomplishment. It's such a huge stepping stone in her streamer career to participate in that. And I was like, man, I'm so proud of her, because she just finished this Hard 75, which is this fitness challenge, which is a stupid fitness challenge. Oh my god, I would not recommend it to anybody, especially a content creator. That takes up so much of your time. And then she, her sobriety too, with her 100 plus, I think she's like 130 some odd days. Oh, I'm terrible. She told me I'm bad with numbers and I always forget, but she's going sober, and I'm just super proud of her. And then of course her growth on Twitch. I don't want to just say, not that you were saying this, Bear, at all. I'm not trying to say that this is words that came out of your mouth or that you were even thinking this, but I don't think her being a female was the main contributing factor to the fact that she grew so much more than I did. She just did things so much differently, and she paid attention. She went out, she did her research, which is, I think, our generation, like, there's like a name for the type of millennials that we are, because like we've seen how to do research prior to there being the internet. Right. So now that you tell us that we can research on the internet, it's like, oh hell yeah, I can go here, I can go do this. Kids these days, they don't know how to research shit, and you have to teach them to use their tools. And she did her research, and she paid attention to other big streamers. She paid attention to what people like, what kind of gimmicks people were doing. She's like, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. She's like, I'm gonna pave my own path and do my own thing, which everybody should do. And it worked. I was super proud of her.
That leans into like what I see. That's what I did. Like when I first started, like I was watching Sarah. Sarah's a huge. She was a huge reason why I started in the first place. Like I was telling you, the whole reason why I started streaming in the first place was I was literally playing Among Us with Sarah and Tack here, and we were playing Among Us. She just said, "Yeah, dude, go stream, go have a good time." I set it up, and it took off from there, and. It was. I completely blame this on Sarah, because it was totally her fault.
You should blame it on her, first of all. It is clearly her fault. Yeah. But it's a multifactorial equation that you can't just pull one factor out and say, here, this is. you know. And it goes both ways, you know, like in other parts of life is like, okay, well, why are men this, why are women this, you know?
Right.
It's, well, there's multiple reasons, and
Mhm.
like, you know, another reason is, well, she does one game whereas you do multiple,
Right.
and
Mhm.
it's what you like versus what she likes, and it,
Exactly.
you know, so
It's like I said,
And
Knowing your
it's-
audience.
and this is why I
Yeah.
use the qualifier seem. It seems
Yeah.
like they do better.
Mhm.
But that the main question of the thing was, what is it like to compete with your?
Yeah.
Because you guys have to compete for viewers. You guys compete for
Oh,
your stuff. What is it
Yeah.
like to compete with
Well-
them with it?
well, go ahead.
Go ahead. If I was gonna
Okay.
say, if I'm, it's not necessarily a competition, right? Like, they want you to do better, and you want them to do better. So it
Mhm.
is in a sense of it, but it's a healthy competition that you're
Mhm.
pushing each other to do
Mhm.
better.
Like rivals
And-
almost.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a little bit different for me and Sarah because, you know, I'm not streaming, and you know she is, but I still see it as like I want her to, you know, push me to do more things in my either my civilian career, my military career, wherever
Mhm.
I want to go. And I
Mhm.
want to do the same thing for her. I want her to,
Mhm.
you know, do things for either if she wants to continue streaming, what can we do to help her do better there, and what can we do to help her do better if she doesn't, you know, or
Yeah.
you know, and you know, if I think if you start seeing it as a competition, that's a slippery slope to go in.
Fair
I
enough.
agree, because then you can put like a toxic
Yeah,
seed into that
yeah,
head.
definitely,
And-
definitely.
Last thing you want is any type of toxic like energy between you and your partner. And like you said, because you even though like she used to compete, it is kind of a competition, but it's kind of not at the same time like what you're getting at, Tack, because when we first started streaming, her and I shared a space. And so I would stream and then she would stream. And usually if she streamed after me, you know, depending like, you know, like what, you know, usually it was Tarkov, and I was like, hey, you guys want to go watch Rock Mom? Let's go raid Rock Mom. I'd bring my viewers to Rock Mom. So I'd bring my followers to her. So I would share my community with her. And she's done that with me multiple times to where, you know, some of her community members now come into my stream. And, but then now I've got my own space and she's got her own space. And so now we can both be live at the same time.
Mhm.
Her followers are still in her streams. Some of them might be in mine at the same time. I know a lot of them come by and say hi that originally started in hers. And
Yeah.
they may be watching us both at the same time. Who knows? Because I know you can lurk up to 4 at a time before your views like stops counting, unless that's changed, which is possible. But I don't feel like I'm in competition with her, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Even though
Interesting.
every Twitch streamer out there is kind of competition if you look at it that way.
So,
But
so you guys basically
made-
view it as like a healthy, like a good competition between, is what you're saying.
I've never even considered it a competition. Like that thought hadn't even come into my head into this question. So I'm kind of more with Tack on this. Like I've always looked at her as a partner. Like
Yeah.
she's a business partner. So like, you know how like in a team aspect, like there's stream teams, like you're supposed to like, you know, like, well, back when I first started streaming, this is a great point to bring up. When I started getting on stream teams, one of the first ones I was on was called Old Man Crew, and it was like 15 people, and the 15 of us would go to each other's streams like, hey, when are you live? Put it in here. Okay, my responsibility is to go into this person's stream, but all we did was stream. We weren't like at work trying to do 2 jobs. We were
Right.
streamers trying to help each other stream, or excuse me, grow. So I saw their tweet, I'd comment, like, retweet. If I saw their Instagram posts, I would heart it, comment, you know. If they're if they were live, I'd lurk their channel. You know, I may have it turned all the way down to where I can't hear them because I also have like all the other members of the team on. But that's what I would do. So Rock Mom's kind of the same thing for me. Only
Right.
we live in the same house, and so it
So-
was always like, oh, she's live, promote it, type deal.
Gotcha.
It's like
You
a
know?
sports team. You know, you want to be the best player on the team, but you also want your team to be the best team.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you're not gonna throw your teams being the best to you being the best. At least you shouldn't be. At least that's my
Right.
mentality of it. You
I
know.
gotcha.
Right.
Well, it's just an honest question because it's something
it's a
that
good
popped
question.
in my
It's
head.
a great question.
It's like it's not really something that a lot of people talk about. You know, it's like it's just there's not a lot of people who have girlfriends or wives or friends that are doing better on something that they also do, and it's just a good question, I think. So
It is because
It
it does
is.
weigh on some men's psyche. Like even like this is kind of an old school mentality. I'm very forward thinking. Like I don't know if it's because of the way like of life experiences or how I was raised, but I don't care if my wife makes more money than me,
Right.
but I know there's people out there who do care if their significant other makes more money than them do, because for some reason it's in their head to where like, okay, so they bring home the bacon, so now I have to do what they say. Like maybe there's like a shift in power.
It's
but
that provider
not. It's a shared-
mentality is what it is.
Yeah.
I would fucking love if Sarah made more money than me. I would be the best stay-at-home boyfriend, dad, whatever. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, like I've worked for. I know you. Like, if you've worked for, you know, anything to a point, you get to the point where you're like, if I don't have to work and I can just do the same thing and chill, yes, please.
Yeah, let's do
You
it.
know, like,
See, I'm
you
not.
know, like-
I'm not of that
yeah.
mentality. I can't do that. Like, I can't sit in one spot. I can't do. Yeah, I can't do that. I have to be working. I have to do something. However, if my wife did make.
I can't sit still.
Yeah, I have to be moving. It's so funny because people look at me because, you know, again, I'm a bigger guy. Like, I'm probably the fittest fat guy you know. And people are like, you're really active for like your size. I'm like, yeah, because I can't sit still. The ADHD kicks in and I just twitch.
So,
No,
I
man,
mean,
it's a
you know,
fidget.
you're a big guy, but you're not like sitting on the couch all day just eating potato chips.
Oh,
Like
God,
you have things you have drive in your life, you know. And
Yeah.
you know, that's the biggest thing, you know, is do you have a goal or a path that you want to follow? And are you actively making steps on that path?
Exactly.
You
And,
know?
and I feel like I am. And that's the thing. But I would
That's
not
all that matters.
complain if my wife made more money than I did. Because
Hell no.
that would mean I wouldn't have to work as hard, as crappy as that sounds.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. I wouldn't complain.
So
one
you
bit.
don't see it as like okay, I want to make more than her. So like it's like a competition to where like I'm gonna try to do whatever I got to do so I can pull in more money. You don't get like that motivation. You're more of the all right, cool. I'm just take it back a little bit.
So it's kind of a combination of the two because every so often it'll really kick in and it'll be like, all right, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. It'll put me in a good drive, but I don't absolutely have to. Like if I fail at if like my wife starts making more money than me, and I fail to start making more money, I'm not gonna get upset about it. You know what I mean?
What would you want your kids to make more money than you?
Hell yeah!
It's kind of a redundant question, right?
They gotta pay for my nursing home somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know, so it's kind of the same thing, right? You want they're part of your team. You want them to do very well for themselves, and you want them to succeed you. And at least in my opinion, you know, I may be wrong, and it may be something different, but I would want.
I don't know if wrong is necessarily the word to use. I mean,
there's no
I think
wrong
when it comes
answer to
down
this question, to be honest.
It's what makes you happy. I think is what we all should like every individual person should be doing something that they should enjoy. And if you're grinding it out Monday through Friday right now, and you're looking forward to the weekend because you hate your Monday through Friday, you're doing it wrong. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're doing it wrong.
It's not that I hate it. It's just there's a lot of it. There's just so much.
Yeah, it's not easy. No, I know.
It's not.
There's a lot to do, because you said you got kids, wife, house. You know, you got all these. You know, you don't even have to have like the wife and kids, because there's a lot of like single people out there that have responsibilities of like paying the bills, maintaining the rent, whatever it is, like insurance and stuff like that. So when it comes down to it, you got to be able to pay these things off because we're a consuming society. But if you can find some semblance in making just enough to where you can do what you love, like for me, there's a reason why there's an expression called a starving artist. It's because you don't make a lot of money as an artist, unless you're just selling these amazing pieces for like X amount of dollars. That's just asinine, which people do. It's rare. And that's why it's always crazy. But that's an expression for a reason. Starving artists. Artists don't make a lot of money. Content creators, it's a struggle for them to make money because there's so many things they have to like monetize. So like that competition, like she's figured it out, and she's like, I'm bored. I need to do something more different because it's not enough. She's like, she's got that entrepreneurship mentality to where she's constantly looking for the next bit. And I'm just all like, damn, girl, look at you go. I'm gonna work on this art piece over here. Hopefully it sells.
It's like, yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're gonna have to wrap it up, guys, because we're literally an hour and 22 minutes in. We already went over our time.
Right? We can't seem to get these in an hour, Bear.
No, I
I
think we're gonna have to like make these like an hour and 15, hour 30 because we just can't keep it the time. We even
Yeah,
shorten
what
the
about talking with
segments.
the chat? You know, we're supposed to have a segment where we talk with the chat, and I feel like we missed out on that today.
Yeah, we did.
It's too bad.
We did. That sucks. But hey,
You don't
we
can blame
do.
that on me. You were talking to me.
Yeah, we do have 3 new followers that I want to go ahead and mention. We have Tack actually gave us a follow. Dak Doe gave us a follow,
Dak.
and John also gave us a follow today. So that
Thank you,
was
John.
thank you all of you guys for the follows. We appreciate them. Go ahead and tell your friends about us if you like our podcast. Go ahead and follow the Twitter. All of our links are in the description below. What do you think, Rock Dad? Do you have a good time?
Oh yeah, dude, it's always a good time. I don't know, maybe I just enjoy talking because these are always too short for me.
It's always too short. It feels like they just fly by every single time. It's
They do. They're just like, yeah,
ridiculous.
like man, we hit on so much stuff, but there's so much more we can talk about. But yeah, you know, it's time to call it, chat.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the talk. Tack, you definitely seem like good people, man. And I can definitely hang out with you, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. It's
dude.
great talking to you guys.
Thanks
Yeah,
for coming
dude.
by. We're gonna make you kind of a staple, I think, in the coming days. If
Am I
you're
gonna have to
okay
get
with
a?
that.
You want me to get a camera so y'all can see my?
You're probably
Ugly-
gonna have to
ugly
get
ass
a
Yeah,
camera,
maybe one of these
yeah.
days we'll have you on and you can have a camera. That'd be cool, dude.
We see.
Okay.
You can see that scruffy little face of yours.
Now I gotta shave. I gotta get it all.
You don't
Since
have
you
to
guys
shave,
play-
dude.
I do. Now I'm going to drill this weekend.
Oh God.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, you
you
gotta
make sure you shave like right before you leave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you were like me, like it was like that 5 o'clock shadow. Like the more and more you shave and you're constantly doing it, like that 5 o'clock starts coming in so much earlier than 5 o'clock.
When I was at basic, I had to shave twice a day.
My
I
gosh.
believe
It
it.
was awful.
Yeah, dude, that's how strict the regs are, man. Like it's
Yeah.
no joke. Like you have to experience it in order to joke about it, because the television like doesn't do it justice.
Well, it's funny because
Crazy.
in the fire service they do have regs like you can't have a beard. Like you can only have a mustache. That's why you see all the firefighters that have mustaches. And it's
Well, you
it's
can have a beard in the service now. You just have to have a waiver.
yeah, you have to have a waiver. You have to have a religious waiver or something like that now, right? Isn't
Mhm.
yeah? So
Mhm.
Yep.
anyway,
I could probably get away with it now. Now, like
Or a
they're
medical
accepting
waiver.
No, yeah, medical waiver, because like that pseudophilitis barbae, I probably slaughtered that, like the skin condition or like ingrown hairs. But I was gonna say they've recently started recognizing more and more of the Norwegian religious
the Nordic stuff, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like a lot more people who weren't usually allowed to have a shaving waiver or whatever, medical waiver, or religious waiver, are now getting more waivers. And I was like, damn, I wish I would have known about that when I was in. Because I could grow a beard. I would have loved to have grown a beard in the military. That would have been awesome.
Beards
Like,
are definitely
cool.
more badass. They've always got my vote.
Yeah, Rock Mom, she doesn't really care for when I don't have it because
Yeah.
it's usually more fuller. But dude, it shaves off years.
Rich,
like
I don't think
feel
I've
and
ever
look
seen-
younger.
I don't think I've ever seen you without a. I think you have like the baby face thing that happens.
Yeah, dude.
I do.
I go baby face.
Yeah, see,
It's weird.
I don't.
I don't
one of
recognize
these
myself.
one of these days I'm gonna full shave because I have to make this even out because it's fucking weird the way it is. So I'm gonna full shave and you guys are gonna be like, "What's that?" I look like a potato
don't-
on a chest. Like it's ridiculous.
You don't like the Joe Dirt beard you got going on right now?
Yeah, like the Joe Duke, like the thing that's like I flip it up and there's a patch missing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Dude, if you could just grow a Joe Dirt mullet for me, you would make me a happy man.
I
That would be
can't because I'm
fantastic.
bald.
But if it's a receding mullet,
plugs.
I'd be even happier.
A rec-
I'm like just like if you have it like back here, you know.
Rich, my
and
wife
just have
will
it-
kill you.
you-
My wife will kill you, sir.
Oh,
she
she's gonna be
is
a
literally
strong woman
behind.
for that.
She is literally behind me. I can feel the hostility coming.
Yeah,
So,
she's like, no.
That is,
Yeah,
that is
you'd have to be a strong woman for that one.
not happening. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, it was so fun to have you guys. Thank you so much for coming by, Tack. Rich, it was
Thanks, man.
always
Thanks for having me.
always fun, guys. Go check us out.
I look forward
go,
to next week, bud.
go check out the Twitter. Check out the YouTube. This will be posted up tomorrow. This time I'll actually edit out the countdown because I forgot to last week. Go check out both mine and Rock Dad's Twitch. All the links are down in the About section below. All 30 of you guys who are out there following us, we appreciate it, and we're very, very happy to see you guys. But we're going to go ahead and say goodnight. We'll see you guys next time.